In the world of royal jewels, some pieces are destined to remain unseen. The story of the Cartier Halo Tiara tells of the most elegant refusal in British monarchy history, a gift that became a symbol of an unread message between generations. 1936 marked a turning point for the House of Cartier. The Duke of York, future King George VI, commissioned a tiara for his wife Elizabeth, symbolizing their return to public life after mourning King George V. But before we begin, don't forget to share your city in the comments. We're so curious where royal luxury enthusiasts live, and if you hit like and subscribe, that would be the best reward for our small channel. Cartier's master craftsmen created pure poetry in platinum and diamonds. Delicate diamond scrolls danced together in light, forming a composition of extraordinary grace. Elizabeth, the future Queen Mother, wore the tiara to a charity gala, but it never became her signature piece. 1944 brought an unexpected twist. During wartime, the Queen Mother presented the tiara as an 18th birthday gift to her daughter, Princess Elizabeth. The choice was thoughtful. Amid war's chaos, this symbol of beauty reminded people of values that survive any upheaval. Yet something remarkable happened. Princess Elizabeth, the future queen, never appeared publicly in this tiara. Experts believe that at 18, she already understood her destiny required jewelry that spoke of strength, not youthful grace. She was born to wear a crown, not a delicate tiara. Princess Margaret happily wore the piece at Queen Juliana's inauguration and her sister's coronation. Princess Anne chose it in 1967. Then the tiara vanished into storage for 40 years until Catherine Middleton selected it for her wedding to Prince William. The Cartier Halo became monarchy's most beautiful rejection. A piece refused by one future queen became the crown for another. When Princess Elizabeth spoke her wedding vows to Prince Philip in 1947, one wedding gift became a symbol of diplomatic delicacy. Princess Andrew's tiara, with its Greek patterns, became silent proof of how politics shapes royal families' personal choices. Princess Andrew of Greece and Denmark, Prince Philip's mother, presented her daughter-in-law with a masterpiece of classical meander design. The central composition featured honeysuckle and laurel wreath motifs, creating a symphony of ancient elegance. Every detail told a story. Laurel leaves recalled victories. Honeysuckle symbolized faithfulness. Yet the young queen never appeared publicly in this tiara. Experts suggest the refusal connected to the delicate political situation of post-war years. Greece was experiencing civil war, and displaying ties to Greek heritage might be seen as a political statement. By the wedding, Prince Philip had already renounced his Greek titles, accepting British citizenship. In this context, a tiara with pronounced Greek symbolism might recall a past he had consciously left behind. In 1972, the Queen passed the tiara to Princess Anne. She enthusiastically embraced the family heirloom, appearing in it at state banquets. The bold lines of ancient patterns perfectly matched the princess's determined character. In 2011, Zara Phillips chose the tiara for her wedding. The piece one bride rejected became another's crown, linking generations through invisible threads of continuity. Perhaps this tiara was meant for royal women who could simply be beautiful. In royal jewelry history, few pieces have such a paradoxical fate as Queen Mary's Bandeau tiara. This artwork spent over half a century in silent waiting, watching its crowned owner happily wear every other family jewel. The story began in 1893 with a touching gesture of gratitude. The people of Lincolnshire presented Princess Victoria Mary of Teck with a magnificent diamond brooch for her wedding. This gift from ordinary subjects carried their sincere love for the future queen. Nearly 4 decades later, in 1932, Queen Mary made a decision that transformed the modest brooch into an artwork. Turning to Gerard's masters, she commissioned the transformation of this treasured piece into an Art Deco-style tiara. 11 sparkling diamond panels formed a graceful arc around the central element. that same brooch from Lincolnshire's people. Art Deco's geometric severity was softened by the precious stone's classic elegance. After Queen Mary passed in 1953, the tiara went to her granddaughter, Queen Elizabeth II. Then the mystery began. For 65 years, Elizabeth wore nearly every major tiara from her grandmother's legacy, from the majestic Cambridge to the famous Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. But this one, never. Perhaps the Queen used the removable central brooch privately, as her grandmother had, but no photographic evidence existed. The Bandeau tiara seemed to wait for its special moment. It came on May 19, 2018. Meghan Markle, choosing among all available royal tiaras for her wedding to Prince Harry, selected this forgotten treasure. The choice surprised many. Among more famous and striking pieces, the bride preferred modest elegance and deep symbolism. In St. George's Chapel, the tiara finally shone at full power, finding its true owner. A piece that bypassed a queen crowned a duchess, and in this paradox lay poetic justice. Among royal jewels exist pieces that carry not just diamond brilliance, but the weight of family memories. The Strathmore Tiara, with its wild diamond roses, became a symbol of how emotional attachment can prove stronger than royal protocol. A century ago, the Earl of Strathmore presented his daughter, young Lady Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon, with a gift of love and legacy, a tiara of wild diamond roses. This was 1923, and she was preparing to marry the Duke of York, unknowingly entering history as the future Queen Mother. The Strathmore Tiara, decorated with removable diamond flowers and delicate sapphire accents, perfectly reflected the flapper era's spirit. Delicate, daring, and deeply romantic, it was created for a young woman who danced at 20s balls, not yet suspecting the royal crown in her future. The Queen Mother wore the tiara low on her forehead in that era's style, radiating youthful elegance. This piece witnessed her transformation from an earl's daughter to a duchess, then to one of Britain's most beloved royal figures. After the crown changed her life, the tiara rested in royal vaults for over 60 years. Remarkably, Queen Elizabeth II, who dignifiedly wore practically every historic tiara from the royal collection, never wore this maternal inheritance. Perhaps the reason lay in the piece's overly personal nature. The tiara connected to her mother's earliest, most carefree days. Time before royal duties, before war, before the role that defined her entire subsequent life. Wearing this tiara would mean touching memories that belonged only to her mother. The silence surrounding this tiara broke in 2023 when Catherine, Princess of Wales, appeared in it at a state banquet. The choice was symbolic. The piece skipped an entire generation, finding new life in the hands of one representing the monarchy's future. A century after its creation, the Strathmore Tiara again gleamed under palace chandeliers, proving that some treasures must wait for their time to find true purpose. In royal vaults exist pieces that carry not just precious stones, but echoes of lost voices. The lotus flower tiara became one of Queen Elizabeth's most painful inheritances, a piece she couldn't wear without disturbing her most treasured memories. The story began in 1923 not with a tiara, but with an elegant necklace given to the future Queen Mother at her wedding. The young bride made a bold decision: dismantle the piece and create something entirely new. Turning to Gerard's masters, she commissioned a tiara embodying water's poetry. The design was breathtaking. Lotus flowers seemed to rise from water, diamonds sparkled like dewdrops, and pearls at the base created the impression of gentle foam. This was a piece for a woman who understood symbols language and wasn't afraid to create her own. The Queen Mother wore the tiara in her early marriage years, then passed it to Princess Margaret, whose impeccable taste gave the piece contemporary voice. Margaret appeared in the tiara at formal dinners, later passing it to her daughter-in-law Serena, who quietly wore it at her wedding in 1993. But 2002 brought the royal family a double blow. Within months, both the Queen Mother and Princess Margaret passed away. The lotus flower tiara returned to royal vaults, bearing the imprint of this irreplaceable loss. Queen Elizabeth inherited the piece but never wore it, not in any portrait, not at any banquet, not for any official occasion. Royal style experts suggest the tiara was too closely tied to personal memories, to her mother, to her only sister, to those who could never return. Perhaps each glance at these diamond lotuses awakened images too precious for public display. In a world where every royal appearance was an act of state importance, some pieces proved too personal for protocol. The silence lasted over a decade, until 2013 when Catherine, Princess of Wales, appeared in the lotus flower tiara. Her choice was an act of delicate sensitivity. She gave new life to a piece the Queen couldn't wear because of overwhelming emotions. The tiara shone again, but now it carried a different story, not of loss's pain, but of hope for the future. In royal jewelry's world exist wandering pieces that pass from one owner to another, as if searching for that one person who can reveal their true beauty. The Tech Crescent tiara became exactly such a piece, witness to changing eras and silent refusals. 1857 gifted the world this jewelry masterpiece. Princess Mary Adelaide created the tiara using diamonds inherited from Princess Mary, Duchess of Gloucester. This was a time when royal pieces were made not just for beauty but to preserve family history and precious stones. The tiara became the Duchess's favorite, gracing royal weddings and Victorian-era coronation celebrations. Its diamond crescent shone at balls where Princess May, the future Queen Mary, danced, creating an aura of romance and grandeur. After her mother's passing, Queen Mary quietly acquired the tiara for her extensive collection. Though no official photographs with this piece survive, court chronicles mention her appearances in the tiara at early royal receptions before it found its place among other historic jewels. In 1936, Mary gave the tiara to her daughter-in-law, Queen Elizabeth, the future Queen Mother. She happily wore the piece during the 1939 Canadian tour and at several glittering London banquets, where the tiara perfectly complemented her refined style. When Queen Elizabeth II inherited this Victorian treasure in 2002, many expected to see it in her regular appearances. However, the tiara again disappeared from public view. The Queen, who dignifiedly wore jewelry from all eras, somehow avoided this particular inheritance. Instead of personal use, the Queen decided to loan the tiara to Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall. But even in new hands, the piece appeared extremely rarely, as if carrying some invisible taboo. The Tech Crescent tiara remains one of the royal collection's most mysterious stories. Beautiful, historically significant, but somehow unwanted by those who rightfully own it. Among royal jewels exist pieces that carry not just diamond brilliance, but the weight of historical memory. The Delhi Durbar tiara became a symbol of imperial grandeur from which modern monarchy preferred to quietly step away. Created from platinum and gold, this tiara represented a true triumph of jewelry art. Complex scrolls, festoons, and garlands intertwined in a dance of over 400 diamonds. Originally decorated with emeralds from the Cambridge necklace, it was later enhanced with the legendary Cullinan 3 and 4 diamonds, becoming a work of dazzling beauty. Garrard's masters created this tiara specifically for 1911's celebration, the Delhi Durbar, a grand ceremony meant to demonstrate British Empire's might in India's very heart. Queen Mary was to appear before subjects in imperial power's full magnificence. Every design element carried deep symbolic meaning. The tiara's height emphasized the crown's superiority. Ornament complexity spoke of empire's wealth, and precious stones sparkled like stars of British dominion. This was jewelry for an era when the sun never set on British territories. But times changed. When the tiara passed to Queen Elizabeth II in 2002 after her mother's passing, The world was completely different. The British Empire had become the Commonwealth, and colonial past had become a source of complex historical discussions. The Queen, who dignifiedly wore other Delhi Durbar parure elements, avoided this specific tiara. Perhaps her decision reflected a monarch's wisdom, understanding that some past symbols are better left in the past instead of personal use. In 2005, the Queen gave the tiara to Camilla, then Duchess of Cornwall. Camilla wore it just once, at that year's Norwegian state banquet. The appearance was striking but singular, as if even the new owner felt special responsibility connected to this piece. The Delhi Durbar tiara remains a reminder that beauty and historical significance aren't always enough for a piece to find new life. Sometimes the past's weight proves too heavy, even for the strongest shoulders. In royal vault's depths rested pieces that captivated with their beauty while inspiring reverent awe. The Greville Emerald Tiara, in Russian kokoshnik style, became one of the most intriguing treasures, surrounded by mystery and silence. Created by Boucheron's masters in 1919, this tiara embodied the dramatic union of Russian tradition and French craftsmanship. Its arc followed classic kokoshnik lines, while pink diamonds created a shining frame for 6 magnificent emeralds. The central stone reportedly weighed an incredible 93 7/10 carats, a size capable of stopping even experienced jewelry connoisseurs. This treasure's original owner was Dame Margaret Greville, a social queen with impeccable taste and passion for luxury. Her London salons gathered European society's cream, and her jewelry collection inspired admiration even from royal family members. In 1942, according to Dame Margaret's will, the tiara passed to Queen Elizabeth, the future Queen Mother. However, something amazing happened. Neither she nor her daughter, Queen Elizabeth II, ever appeared publicly in this piece. The tiara seemed to carry some invisible seal of untouchability. Perhaps the reason lay in its overly dramatic character. The Russian kokoshnik style, especially combined with giant emeralds, created an image that might seem excessively theatrical for British royal traditions. Or maybe it was about origins. A gift from a private person, however close to the family, required special caution in use. Decades of silence broke in 2018 when Princess Eugenie made a choice that stunned the world. For her wedding to Jack Brooksbank, she chose this forgotten gem from the royal collection. The bride's appearance in the Greville tiara became a sensation. For the first time in decades, the world saw this treasure in all its magnificence. Eugenie's choice was an act of courage and symbolism. She brought back to life a piece that 2 generations of queens had avoided, proving that beauty can overcome any taboos. In royal style's annals exist rare moments of absolute honesty, when diplomatic conventions retreat before human truth. The Greville honeycomb tiara's story became exactly such a case. The only piece about which it was openly said she simply didn't love it enough to wear it. Created in 1921 by Boucheron's masters from Mrs. Greville's own dismantled jewels, this tiara represented structural elegance's triumph. Its bold honeycomb pattern, executed from nearly 142 carats of diamonds, created a geometric symphony of light and fire. Later, Cartier contributed to the piece's history, adding height to the construction using larger stones from a dismantled brooch. The result exceeded all expectations. The tiara gained monumentality worthy of the highest-ranking royal figures. In 1942, Dame Margaret Greville bequeathed this masterpiece to Queen Elizabeth, the future Queen Mother who wore it with special attachment. The honeycomb structure perfectly harmonized with her refined style, and the tiara's height emphasized her natural dignity. She appeared in this piece regularly, almost faithfully, which was rare among her extensive collection. However, in 2002, when the inheritance passed to Queen Elizabeth II, something unexpected happened. The woman who, with equal dignity, wore jewelry from all eras and styles, categorically refused this specific tiara. And surprisingly, the reason wasn't hidden behind diplomatic formulations. Court sources with rare directness explained the Queen simply didn't feel sufficient affection for this piece. In a world where every monarch's decision is usually surrounded by complex justifications, such frankness was almost revolutionary. No political considerations, no protocol restrictions, just a matter of personal taste. Perhaps the honeycomb pattern's geometric severity seemed too rigid to the Queen, too distant from the organic elegance she preferred, or maybe the tiara was too closely associated with her mother's image, creating the feeling she was trying to copy someone else's style. But this story has a happy continuation. The tiara found a new mistress in Camilla, Queen Consort, who not only accepted this inheritance, but made it her signature piece. Today, the Greville honeycomb tiara remains her favorite choice for the most solemn moments, including the 2023 state banquet. In this transformation, from unloved inheritance to treasured possession, reads a beautiful lesson that every piece waits for its true owner, capable of revealing its genuine beauty. The journey through Britain's crown's forgotten treasures reveals an amazing truth. Sometimes the most beautiful pieces remain invisible, not from lack of beauty, but from excess of meaning. Each unworn tiara tells a story about royal life's complexity, where personal preferences intertwine with state symbolism, and family memory competes with diplomatic considerations. Perhaps in royal vault's depths await other forgotten treasures, ready to tell new stories about how jewels become witnesses to human destinies.